Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to see about G20 and India's presidency of G20. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Let's get into the video. Let's start with the basic details of G20. So, what is the G20? The Group of 20 G20 is an intergovernmental forum comprising 19 countries: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom and United States and the European Union. Headquarters of G20 are in Cancun, Mexico. The G20 members represent around 85% of the global GDP, over 75% of the global trade, and about two-thirds of the world population. The G20 was founded in 1999 after the Asian financial crisis as a forum for the finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss global economic and financial issues. It was upgraded to the level of heads of state government in the wake of the global economic and financial crisis of 2007, and, in 2009, was designated the premier forum for international economic cooperation. Why the G20 is so important? The 20 largest economies in the world gather frequently to address the most important issues affecting the global economy in the G20 meeting. What is the G20 Summit? The G20 Summit is held annually, under the leadership of a rotating presidency. How does the G20 work? The G20 presidency steers the G20 agenda for 1 year and hosts the summit. The G20 consists of two parallel tracks, the finance track and the Sherpa track. Finance ministers and central bank governors lead the finance track, while Sherpas lead the Sherpa track. The finance track is led by finance ministers and central bank governors of the member countries. Within the two tracks, there are thematically oriented working groups in which representatives from the relevant ministries of the members as well as from invited guest countries and various international organizations participate. The Startup 20 Engagement Group will be established under India's G20 presidency for the first time, recognizing the role of startups in driving innovation that responds to a rapidly changing global scenario. Bali Summit this year. India will host over 200 meetings in over 50 cities across 32 different work streams. G20 delegates and guests to get a glimpse of India's rich cultural heritage and a year-long India experience. India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness, hence our theme One Earth, One Family, One Future, said by PM Narendra Modi. During India's presidency of the G20, the country focused on 4 key themes: people, planet, prosperity, and peace. Here are some specific initiatives and outcomes that India achieved during its G20 presidency. People. India focused on issues related to education, health, and social protection. The country launched a new initiative called the G20 Skills for All program, which aimed to promote the development of skills and knowledge among people of all ages and backgrounds. India also promoted the importance of mental health and launched the G20 Mental Health Action Plan, which aimed to address the growing mental health crisis around the world. Planet. India focused on issues related to sustainable development and climate change. The country promoted the use of clean energy and launched the G20 Clean Energy Access Initiative, which aimed to provide access to clean energy for all. India also launched the G20 Plastic Waste Action Plan, which aimed to reduce the amount of plastic waste generated by G20 countries. Prosperity. India focused on issues related to economic growth and financial stability. The country promoted the importance of digitalization and launched the G20 Digital Financial Inclusion Initiative, which aimed to promote digital financial inclusion and literacy. Peace. India focused on issues related to global security and peace. The country promoted the importance of international cooperation and launched the G20 Global Security Initiative, which aimed to enhance cooperation among G20 countries on issues related to global security. India also launched the G20 Women, Peace and Security Action Plan, which aimed to promote the participation of women in peace and security processes. About G20 logo. The G20 logo draws inspiration from the vibrant colors of India's national flag: saffron, white and green, and blue. It juxtaposes planet Earth with the lotus, India's national flower that reflects growth amid challenges. The Earth reflects India's pro-planet approach to life, one in perfect harmony with nature. Below the G20 logo is Bharat, written in the Devanagari script. The theme of India's G20 presidency, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future, is drawn from the ancient Sanskrit text of the Maha Upanishad. Essentially, the theme affirms the value of all life, human, animal, plant, and microorganisms, and their interconnectedness on the planet Earth and in the wider universe. A new working group on disaster risk reduction will be established under India's presidency to encourage collective work by the G20, undertake multidisciplinary research and exchange best practices on disaster risk reduction. India's special invitee guest countries are Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, Spain and UAE. G20's invited international organizations are UN, IMF, World Bank, WHO, WTO, ILO, FSB, OECD, OCHA, NEPAD Chair, ASEAN Chair, ADB, ICER and CDRI. G20 meetings will not be limited only to New Delhi or other metropolises. India will host over 200 meetings in over 50 cities across 32 different work streams, and would have the opportunity to offer G20 delegates and guests a glimpse of India's rich cultural heritage and provide them with a unique Indian experience. What are India's G20 priorities? Green development, climate finance and life. Accelerated, inclusive and resilient growth. Accelerating progress on SDGs. Technological transformation and digital public infrastructure. Multilateral institutions for the 21st century. Women-led development. The advantages of India holding the G20 presidency are a chance to shape the global economic agenda. As the G20 presidency, India had the opportunity to set the agenda for the G20 meetings and led discussions on key economic issues. This allowed India to have a greater say in shaping the global economic agenda and to promote its own economic interests. Increased global visibility. Holding the G20 presidency gave India increased global visibility and recognition as a key player in the global economy. This can help attract foreign investment and promote India's economic growth. Strengthened international relationships. The G20 presidency provides India with an opportunity to build stronger relationships with other major economies and to enhance its diplomatic standing on the world stage. During its presidency, India focused on 4 key themes: people, planet, prosperity, and peace. The agenda included issues related to sustainable development, digitalization, finance, health, and climate change. India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness. Hence our theme, One Earth, One Family, One Future. This is not just a slogan. It takes into account recent changes in human circumstances, which we have collectively failed to appreciate. Today, we have the means to produce enough to meet the basic needs of all people in the world. Today, we do not need to fight for our survival. Our era need not be one of war. Indeed, it must not be one. Today, the greatest challenges we face, climate change, terrorism, and pandemics, can be solved not by fighting each other, but only by acting together. Fortunately, today's technology also gives us the means to address problems on a humanity-wide scale. The massive virtual worlds that we inhabit today demonstrate the scalability of digital technologies. Today, India is the fastest growing large economy. Our citizen-centric governance model takes care of even our most marginalized citizens, while nurturing the creative genius of our talented youth. We have tried to make national development not an exercise in top-down governance, but rather a citizen-led people's movement. We have leveraged technology to create digital public goods that are open, inclusive and interoperable. These have delivered revolutionary progress in fields as varied as social protection, financial inclusion, and electronic payments. For all these reasons, India's experiences can provide insights for possible global solutions. During our G20 presidency, we shall present India's experiences, learnings and models as possible templates for others, particularly the developing world. Our G20 priorities will be shaped in consultation with not just our G20 partners, but also our fellow travelers in the global south, whose voice often goes unheard. Our priorities will focus on healing our One Earth, creating harmony within our One Family, and giving hope for our One Future. For healing our planet, we will encourage sustainable and environment-friendly lifestyles based on India's tradition of trusteeship towards nature. For promoting harmony within the human family, we will seek to depoliticize the global supply of food, fertilizer and medical products so that geopolitical tensions do not lead to humanitarian crises. India's G20 agenda will be inclusive, ambitious, action-oriented, and decisive. The G20 is an important international forum for economic and financial discussions, and the presidency of the G20 provides a significant opportunity for countries to influence the global economic agenda. India's presidency of the G20 allowed the country to have a greater say in shaping the global economic agenda, and it provided India with increased global visibility and recognition as a key player in the global economy. I hope you have learned something new. Subscribe for more videos and share to your friends if this video is useful. Thank you. See you in next video.